Hey everyone, it's Meher. Okay, so I just got back from boarding school for my summer vacations, right? And right now is about the time that everybody's going traveling and stuff like that. And in my experience, travel is sometimes kind of boring. So today I wanted to basically suggest my five books to read when you're traveling anywhere and you just want to alleviate the boredom. And these five books are books that are going to like transport you to a different place altogether. So let's go. Okay, first book is Landour Days by Ruskin Bond. I know I am very partial to this author, but he like is from Landour. I study in Landour, hence the partiality. The blurb for this book is really nice and way nicer than anything I could say in words. So the habit of keeping a diary has led me into trouble more than once, writes Ruskin Bond in the introduction to this journal of a year in his hometown of Landour, Missouri. Bond is an inveterate diarist, but over the years he finds that the nature of what he wants to record has changed, for, in Bond's words, in the autumn of my life I grew reflective. So, one of the reasons why this book is also really cute is because Ruskin Bond actually signed this for my mom. Anyway, so this book follows the different. This book is like snippets of Ruskin Bond's diary, which follows the seasons actually, like summer, winter, monsoon. And each of those seasons have their particular months. Like, okay, I'm gonna focus on monsoon because it's gorgeous. Look at that! It's butterflies, very well drawn butterflies. Anyway, so the first month of monsoon is July in Landour, and Bond talks about um, an encounter, you could say, he had with a snake. So here he describes: the postman, who almost trod on it the other day, wanted it killed, but I quoted the sayings of Buddha, Krishna, and Confucius and persuaded him to let it live. He was not quite convinced, and nor was I, but it gave the snake enough time in which to slip away. The postman no longer enters at the gate but leaves my letters in a hole in the wall. So the entire book is basically made up of tiny, really cute short stories like that, which sort of describe his life in the hills. Um, for which reason I love it. It is simple, it's very nice to read, and yeah, it's just a pretty great book. Okay, the next one is, oh, that's heavy. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. My mom gave this book to me, and it started out relatively slowly, but it picked up very well. It's about this woman, Eleanor, who lives her life in routine, like very rigid routine. Uh, and basically, it's about how a series of happy events lead her to break out of this routine. And one of the things that I love the most about my book, about this book, is the character development, not just of Eleanor's, but of the people around her, the friends she makes, the her co-workers who initially viewed her as an oddball but who warm up to her. And also the it's not, it sounds like just one of your feel good heartwarming books, but it's actually got a very good twist, which you are just going to have to read to find out. So again, amazing book to read on a journey. The next one is The Emerald Atlas by John Stevens. This is actually a book from my childhood. I have I will never stop reading this. It's amazing. It follows the story of three orphans who are also siblings, Kate, Emma, and Michael, and they get sent to an orphanage, which is kind of weird considering they're the only three kids there. And one day, while exploring, they come across this notebook, this very pretty notebook, and they realize that if you put a photograph in the notebook, it's got this kind of magic that will take you to that photograph, like inside that photograph. So what I really liked about this book is that not only is it one of the most immersive fantasy novels I have ever read, but it also it takes this book takes common tropes. Like, I know the whole like dwarf, giant, elf, ogre thing is very common, but it takes that and like evil witches and stuff, and it puts a very delightfully fresh new spin on it. This is actually the first book of a series. entitled The Books of Beginning, and I really want to read the other two books. And of course, I would recommend this for anybody going on a journey because you're gonna forget that you're in a plane or a train or a bus or whatever, and you're just gonna be in this world. It's amazing. Okay, the next book is Dan Brown's Origin. Right, so like anybody who's ever read any Dan Brown book, particularly his Robert Langdon ones, knows that this guy is the master of writing books that are just gonna leave you feeling like you're gonna finish reading the book, you're gonna put it down, and you're just gonna be there like contemplating your existence. It's amazing. So basically, what this book is about, it's another Robert Langdon story, and it's about this man, Edmund Kirsch. It's not really about him. He dies in the first page. Um, but it's about a discovery that he has made that he was going to release to the entire world, but he was killed before he could do so. And the rest of the book just deals with what was the discovery, who killed him, and the bunch of other questions that come together in like this beautiful climax that you're going to be like hanging on the edge of your seat for. I started reading this book as I was getting on the plane. I finished it as I was getting out of the plane. I could not take my eyes out. Like time just flew by, which is why this is one of my favorite books to read anytime you're going anywhere. Okay, so my last book is, I actually don't have a copy of it. It's called I'll Be Damned by Rishi Pipariya. And it's spelled like Aisle, like plain isle. Puns. Anyway, this book takes a very mundane aircraft journey, like from the airport to the plane, and it makes it absolutely hilarious. Like, you're going to be sitting there in your seat, probably reading this book, and suddenly everything is going to just suddenly seem so funny to you. Like, it's really hilarious what he's done with this. And I actually wanted to read an excerpt from it. You need to go back about 100 years in history to understand the origin of airports. A couple of a couple of pilgrims managed to escape from hell, took the wrong trapdoor back to the Earth's surface, and somehow happened to find themselves seated on bar stools next to an architect in Guam. Over pictures of US territory tipple, they described to him the horrors of the convoluted labyrinths, urine-filled cesspools, skeleton figurines, and indigenous insect species. The Guamian architect made furious sketches as they gobbled it on in animated terror. And based on that chance encounter was born the first design of the modern airport. The book is like this, as hilarious as this, if not funnier, but it's so funny and really well written, and it just kind of like stays with you. Like every time I travel in a plane, I just think about this book. So those are the books that I recommend for anybody who's going on a journey. These books are going to delight you, astonish you, take you places you've never really thought of before. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.